How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Blade Bias. Today I have quite an interesting and long-awaited video. We have two packages here. Obviously, you know what these are. These are the Hirsch x Nabalis Vulps. I do have two of them. They were kind enough to send over two. I did ask for two, and they were nice enough to just fulfill my request. So we will be unboxing and giving my first impressions on all of these. I want to put a disclaimer out there first and foremost. I have unboxed these. One of them is a little special, which I'll get to last. But I have unboxed these. I have flipped these for a while, so I know what to expect. But I figured I'd show you guys kind of what comes in the package, what you can expect, because some pretty cool stuff with these. So, starting with the first guy. Luckily, they sent me both versions of the Vulp, because there is two versions of them. Starting with the first version. Ooh, we have the purple Vulp with no bottle opener. They did send me both. The other one has a bottle opener. You'll see that in a second. But purple Vulp with no bottle opener. Now, we'll talk about the Vulp for real in a second. But, of course, little bottle of thread locker. I have not used this. It's probably not that great of quality. But the theme with these ballad songs is really going to be something is better than nothing, because they include a lot of stuff in here. Let's go over this real quick. First of all, extra pivot hardware, perfect, awesome, love to see it. Extra washers, great, thank God. We'll talk about the tuning experience in a second. Bushings, great to see. I love having extra bushings, excuse me, especially because they are wanting you to tune this, you know. Excuse me, jeez, I just ate a donut and it's coming back up, I guess. So they want you to tune this, they want you to experiment with it, which is awesome. That's super cool. I love that, especially on a $60 knife. You want people to learn, because most people, this is going to be one of their first ballad songs, so it's great that at this price point we have all these tools to learn, to play with, all that. They include this little 90-degree kind of, it's like a little Allen key, but it has T8 and T6 drivers on it. I think it's either T8, T6, or it's T8, T10. I don't know, I haven't really used it, but I would not recommend using this too much. However, like I said earlier, something is better than nothing. I am very glad that this is in here. Because overall, for people, if this, like I said, if this is your first ballad song, let me actually see here what this is. So yeah, this is T8 and then T6 down here. So this is a cool tool to have, you know, just because. But that's great that they include that. Now the real cool part is in here. Will made it a requirement for them to include this little guy, which is an actual good, well, at least somewhat good. It's also a safety bit. I didn't even realize that before. But it is a nice T8 bit, which is going to be better than the little driver in here. A solid stainless steel T8 bit. And this will slide into any screwdriver that holds bits like that, which is a lot of them. So if you can go to any auto parts store, grab a little screwdriver, grab that. Or the Weehaw set, if you have the Weehaw guys, you can get them on Amazon. The little stubby screwdriver, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I have. It's really cool. It's pretty awesome. But, so the Vulp. Let's talk about the Vulp for a second. Because, you know, with all this stuff included in the box, it is very clear that they want you to experiment. They want you to tune. They want you to have fun and just play with the Vulp. And I feel like that is absolutely awesome. For 60 bucks, this is not meant to be a high-performing, like, Grail ballad song, obviously. It's $60 on Amazon. But I think that the $60 price point, it's part of the reason I support Tay and the Tay Flipper so much, is that is the price point where people are going to get this as their first ballad song, and they should be able to learn. You know, they shouldn't get something that's like, I reference the Squiddies a lot, for example. Like, yeah, you get a Squiddy, but what does it come with? The Squiddy. That's it. You don't get anything else. And if you're gonna learn, if you're just getting into ballad songs and you're gonna learn how to tune and learn how to do all this cool stuff, when you get a Squiddy, you're gonna get the Squiddy and you're gonna learn to flip, but you're not gonna learn any of the extra stuff that goes into flipping. You're not gonna learn any of the extra things like tuning, maintenance, and just general care. general care, sorry. And that is something that is incredibly important. That is literally like the main one of the main things with balisongs is obviously flipping, but taking care of your knives is equally as important as learning to flip, which is something that a lot of new people don't even realize. When I first got into balisongs, I didn't even know that you're supposed to put oil in them. I didn't know that you had to keep them well tuned. I was just like, okay, cool, balisong flipping, I'm good. But no, there's a lot more that goes into it. There's a lot more people don't realize that goes into it. Wow, my left hand is sloppy today. There's a lot more that goes into it that people don't really realize. So I'm glad that Nabalis and Will understand that, and they are trying to include things that help out new flippers. But flipping the Vulp is awesome, you know? Right off the bat, I will say, for $60, this is it. This is the best one you can get for the price range. I've tried a lot of cheap balisongs, especially coming back from Blade Show. I've even tried a lot of expensive balisongs, and this holds up. Not even just for $60 on Amazon. This thing holds up just period. If this had maybe some better tolerances, which we'll talk about in a second, this thing could be a $200 balisong, and I wouldn't even mind. This thing generally flips really good. It's a very comfortable flipping experience. You have to forgive me, this is my first time flipping today, so it's a very comfortable flipping experience. I like it a lot. It's just overall very well balanced, very fun, very light, which I really enjoy. But yeah, the jimping on this is honestly my favorite jimping probably ever. I actually like it a lot. I love aggressive jimping like this. It's really awesome. Blade profile's sick. The actual cutouts, I think, are really good. Only thing I'm missing is that there's nothing on the side of the handle besides the jimping. Jimping's great, but I really love to have both. If they would have just put this one line on the side of the handle too, would have been perfect. So I'm going to put this guy down for a second, and we're going to talk quickly about my custom Vulp, which is what is in this box right here. Now, with this guy, it's going to be the same unboxing experience, so same hardware, same everything, but this is silver. Now you'll notice, maybe you remember, Nabalis does not make a silver Vulp. That is because I did this myself. I stripped the ano off of it, and then I polished it. So this is a one-of-a-kind mirror-polished Nabalis Vulp. This is also the one with the bottle opener. So, bottle opener, mirror polished, bright as hell. I need to repolish it, but I am scared to do so because of, now we're going to get into the tolerance issues. This thing is machined simultaneously really well and simultaneously really bad. It's just what happens when you have sorry, I got a hair in my mouth, a cheap Chinese manufacturer making a ridiculous amount of knives in a ridiculously cheap price. Now, flipping experience on the Vulp, like I said before, awesome. This thing holds up to some $100 to $200 balisongs in terms of just raw flippability, which for Amazon balisongs is not something too common. But tolerance-wise is where you start to run into issues, because you'll notice here, my custom one obviously has issues, but even the new one has tap. I have had this for no joke. I'm sorry, I flipped this. I flipped my custom one a lot, but I flipped the stock purple one for no joke like half an hour and dropped it a couple times onto carpet, and it already has tap. That's just what's gonna happen. But the problem I have, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I posted a little rant about it. And also, I just want to disclaim, or I want to say it before I forget about it. If you go to @deaths_flips on Instagram, we made a little video about this. He recorded it, and I edited it for him. Taking apart your Vulp is a complete nightmare. The reason for that is because the tolerances... I'm sorry, not even the tolerances. The machining is so tight in these handles that taking apart the Vulp or putting back together the Vulp and sliding everything into place and lining it up takes so long, and you run the risk of completely destroying your washers like I did. It is incredibly difficult to do. And you'll notice even that's incredibly difficult to do, yet it still gets ridiculous tap if you do decide to take it apart, or even just after dropping it a few times, it gets really bad tap. What that comes down to is that, what we think it is at least, is when they press fit the Zen pins, it basically slams the channel together at the end here by the pivots, which causes the handle and the pivots to be way closer and way more tight together than it should be, than it was intended to be. So when they put these things together, all is well, all is good, but once you take it apart after they've already been slammed together, getting it back together is a nightmare. So basically the trick is to take something that's hard. We would suggest a hard plastic, but you know, sometimes of course that won't happen with what you have available. We suggest a hard plastic just because it won't scratch the metal at all. If you're fine with some scratches on the inside, then you can use a piece of metal and just kind of pry it open a little bit, you know? Just open up a little bit of room, just to make some room for those pivots to those washers to slide back into place so you don't have to damage them trying to get it back together. This is a tip that Dalen over at MachineWise taught us, and also I got a message after I posted a video on my story. Andre from Squid Industries, that's what they do with tuning. They have a little tuning block that sits, when they put the Zen pins in, it sits inside the handle so that it doesn't squish the pivots together. Nabalis doesn't do that because manufacturing reasons. It's just way too much of a complication for them to do something like that on the scale that they're producing. So they don't do something like that, but it really made sense, especially after Andre told me that that's what they do over at Squid Industries, is put that little block there so it doesn't bend in. Really makes sense why this issue is occurring. It's just a matter of those press fit Zen pins are squashing the handles together a little more than they probably should be. So other than that though, it's that tolerance issue. My main issue is just, why is it so tight and such a pain in the ass to get back together if it loses its tolerances anyways? But it's a different issue. The bushings are what's responsible for the tap, but it's the handles getting squished together that's responsible for the pain to take it apart. So different issues, but overall, disregarding that issue, if you can fix that, then cool. In terms of just raw flippability and value for the money, these are great. You know, they are not an end all. They're not a like Grail Balisong. You know, they're definitely not. They don't have the quality and the polish that something like a. Oh, real quick before I forget, the difference in the blades, I cannot really detect a difference. If anything, it's a very, very minuscule difference. Realistically, while I'm flipping, maybe if you A-B them, you can detect something, but realistically, while I'm flipping, they flip about the same. So, in terms of flipping, it's not going to hold up to a Kraken. It's not going to, or just polish and design-wise, it's not going to hold up to a Kraken. It's not going to hold up to, I don't know, some of the more expensive or around $200 Balisongs. Antarctic's going to be built better than this. The new stuff like the Sirius V2 that's coming out, which is really cool. I really want to try one of those. It's not going to be built as well as that. It's not going to be built as well as those companies who do drops of 15 or 20 and they have time to hand tune every knife. But we knew that already, because this is a $60 knife. It's nowhere near the scale and the care that gets put into something like some of the Squid Industry stuff, or anything from NRB even. It's just not on that level for those people. For Nabalis, I should say. It's just not on that level as those people. So you can't really complain for stuff like that, because you know what you're getting, and it's $60 on Amazon. But for raw flipping experience, this is bar none the best Balisong for cheap on Amazon. Of course, like I've been saying, you could get something better if you waited a little more, saved up a little bit more money, went with something around like 150 all the way up to 200. But for the $60 to around $100 mark, this is personally, in my opinion, the best you're gonna get for the time being. And huge congrats to Will and Nabalis for everything that you guys did here. You guys made a lot of steps forward with this in making something that's actually flipping focused rather than just let's make a funky ballast song and call it a day. I'm looking at you, Mermaid from Belly Shark. But this thing is genuinely awesome. You guys did a really, really good job. Cutouts are great. The one issue people are having is that the cutouts up here feel a little sharp. I noticed that on my polished one before I polished it. I had a teal one, but then I polished it off. Before I polished it, it was sharp. This one's not, though. It seems to be pretty hit or miss if you're going to get one that's going to feel sharp. So, unfortunately, it might be something you just have to either deal with or take a very light hand with some sandpaper to it. But, yeah, this is an amazing ballast song for $60. Super stoked on it. Super stoked that you guys made the conscious decision to include tools to learn how to tune and learn how to do maintenance. That was an awesome idea. Really appreciate you guys. Jeez, I'm not used to this thing. I've been flipping my Prisma a lot recently just for the sake of, I still don't have my Kraken trainer back, so I've been like, what do I feel like flipping? It mostly comes down to the Prisma. But you guys are doing an amazing job with this thing. I really think I have confidence in this thing in redefining the $60 to $100 price bracket. And for me, in terms of value proposition, this is one of the best value for the money ballast songs we've gotten in a long time. So definitely buy one of these if you have an extra $60 to spend. Careful about the tolerances though. Just know it will get tapped. But they do include an extra set of bushings if you want to learn to tune yourself. Just make sure you do the trick where you pry open the handles a little bit in order to fit the washers back in, because if you don't, there is a really good chance you are going to damage your washers, which is what happened on my polished version. I just haven't replaced the washers yet. It's just because of how they're machined and how it's manufactured. You are most likely going to damage your washers if you don't do the little trick to pry open the handles a little bit. So try that. But if you can do that, then I highly recommend. Oh, I messed up that shortstop. Highly recommend grabbing one of these. They're awesome. They're sick. They look great. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. If I forgot anything in this video, shoot me a message on Instagram. That'll be linked in the description. As always, the Vulps are awesome. Yeah, if I forgot anything, shoot me a message. I can answer any questions you have. And you can learn some more about this guy if you wanted to. And some other special boys I have in my collection. Which, you know, if you want to learn, then sure. Otherwise... Oh, that was almost cool. My hair's kind of in my eyes. But, you know, otherwise, these guys are great. You know, I love them a lot. They're super cool. My doubles are still sloppy. I haven't been focused on them too much. But, you know, cool stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys all very soon. Bye-bye.